All right guys, welcome back to Fix or Pass. This is Esparza, here to show you some cars that we've been finding that are current active listings on the interwebs. We're gonna go through a few of them. As always, we'll drop the links down in the description so that you guys can go snag up a few of these cars for yourself if it's something you're looking for. So let's get it cracking. All right off the bat, first car, we have a Mopar. I have a feeling, Joe already prepped me for this, we're gonna have a Mopar-heavy episode. I don't mind it. So, first car, 71 Dodge Challenger. This one is on eBay. It looks like the location for this car is Rancho Cucamonga, California. This is a pretty cool car. Nice bright green. It appears to be all original paint. Current bid $10,200, reserve not met. So hard to say what the reserve is on this car, but it's definitely gonna go up quite a bit higher than that. These are pretty valuable cars. Let's read a little bit about this one. Originally a G-coded 318 904 trans, now has a 340 with a 727. So not original drivetrain, but upgraded drivetrain. It has a better engine and trans combo than it did before. No AC, no vinyl top, which is nice. I am partial to a non-vinyl top car. A lot of these Mopars had a vinyl top, very popular thing in the 70s, but they do trap a little bit of moisture, so when you're looking at a vinyl top car, really look at the roof. Generally speaking, a non-vinyl top car, not too much of the roof rusts out. Vinyl top car, you will get some rust under there. So that's kind of cool. J6 green go with white interior. That was like the hot ticket color combo back in the day. White interior is pretty fresh, and that green is just iconic 70s color. So let's see, passenger door has been damaged, have a replacement door included, rally wheels will need a front passenger fender, floors have rust, interior panels are decent shape, have bows for headliner. So this is definitely a project. Let's look at some of these pictures to see what he's talking about here as far as the floor rust and things like that. Okay, so it looks pretty nice here. This seems to be all original paint, which is kind of nice. You can see a little bit of rust down here in the door area. Very common in these cars. Looks pretty complete. Missing a little bit of trim here around the back. Let's keep looking at this thing. Looks like it's been sitting in his garage for a while. So there's the damage he talked about. Looks like it's more than just the door. This fender's got tagged quite a bit, so a good body man could work with that, or maybe just put a new fender on that thing. Some white door panels. Those have seen better days. They're definitely, I mean, it's white, so you gotta be careful with them, they get dirty. Here's that rust he was talking about. So this isn't too bad. You do a floor pan on this car. Not a huge deal, but this is a cool car. Let's keep scrolling. Interior's rough, it's gonna be gone through. This looks all complete. This car runs and drives, so that's a definite plus. When you're buying a project car, running and driving is a big thing. Being able to move the car, get it to where you need it. Depending on where you're working on it, sometimes being able to move it in and out is a big thing. So there's the door. Okay, pretty straightforward. Who knows what this is gonna go for? You'll have to keep an eye on it if this is the car you're looking for. It's a really good color combo. It needs some work. So I would say fix on this car, definitely, but it kind of depends on where the bidding goes on this. If the price goes really high, I would say pass on it, just because depending on, I don't know exact values of these cars all restored. They vary a little bit. This one's not numbers matching, so it'd probably be a good RestoMod candidate, but I probably wouldn't really bid any higher than 20 grand on this car. Maybe the Mopar guys that are more in tune with the Challengers know a little bit more exact what pricing on this should be, but it's worth whatever someone's willing to pay for it. So I would definitely, it's a fixer car, but with the caveat of where's the reserve, where's this auction gonna go as far as pricing. Next car, 69 Dodge Charger. We love these cars, as you guys know. We try to do a Charger, between 68 and 70 Charger every year. We try to give one away. So this one is in Sacramento, California. Buy it now price of $27,000. That's pretty good. These cars are getting hard to find in that price range, depending on condition. Let's read a little bit about it. Clean title, stored indoors and dry in California, complete car with engine, no interior, all chrome trim present, original drivetrain, selling as is. There is rust present in the common Charger problem areas, the trunk area, lower sections of the quarters. We've talked about that before. Lower sections of rear quarters, almost any muscle car, that's a place to look for rust. Floors look solid, has a spot near gas pedal. So this is the second car we've seen that the driver floor, kind of by the gas pedal, has some rust. I think they collect water there. The floor pan on these Chargers, if you're looking to get into a Charger project, you need to just come to terms with the fact that you might have to do a trunk floor pan. There's a running joke that these cars ship from the factory with trunk floor rust. So they all have it. They had trunk seal issues and they kind of collected water there. So it's very rare that you find one that doesn't have it. They're out there, but pretty rare. Let's look at some pictures of this bad boy. Okay, it looks like it's in a warehouse, which is good. It's not sitting out in some field. It has a vinyl top, so you'll want to kind of check there. Usually when there's rust coming through a vinyl top, it'll start bubbling under there, so you'll be able to see that immediately. But all in all, the body looks pretty good from these pictures. Looks like it's been in a little fender bender here. That's fixable. It's got these extended shackles, which was a big deal back in the 70s. People would lift the rear end of the car up to get that aggressive muscle car look they were looking for. Let's see. Some more little dents. There's the floor. Floor actually looks pretty good in this car. I think also this is probably original paint on this car, which is kind of nice. Once the car's been repainted, you don't really know the quality of the bodywork that's under there unless you have pictures of the process and all that. So original paint car will be more honest, I like to say. It'll tell you what you're working with right off the bat. Looks like it's got a little small block in there. So not being a big block car with, you know, an RT and all the good options, it's gonna have a little less value as far as restoring this car back to original. But we like RestoMods, so even in the seller's notes he says, I can help facilitate shipping a 440 engine. That's the hot ticket. You get one of these cars, you want that 440 big block in there. So it looks like he kind of knows that already. Pretty fair price. I say fix on this car. Even at the buy it now, these cars are just getting expensive. They only made so many of them. They destroyed a lot of them for a lot of different movies and TV shows that I'm sure you guys have all watched. We're gonna go with fix. Definite fix on this car. It's here in California, in Sacramento, so it's the Central California area. But at that buy it now price, I think this is a good deal. I say fix on this car. Here's another one, another Dodge Charger, another one on eBay. This is on the other side of the country in Louisburg, Kansas. So this one has a current bid of $28,600, no buy it now price. Let's read a little bit about this one. Relisting due to scammer from Belarus hitting buy it now. Okay, so it's probably why he doesn't have a buy it now right now, because he's worried about the Belarusians, people from Belarus. 69 Charger, 383 automatic, F6 green with white vinyl top, white hat / spring special. That's kind of neat. Factory AC car, great color combo, complete other than radio antenna, missing very minor things. Great patina, but will need work to get it running and driving. Engine turns over. Not numbers matching engine. Floor pan, trunk pan, passenger inner rocker need to be replaced. So this one probably has a little bit more rust than the last one we saw. Frame rails are good, except near the passenger side torsion bar. It's a little bit bigger job once you get into that repairing rust and that kind of stuff. Rockers and lower quarters will need to be replaced. Clear title in my name. Windshield is newer, however it's cracked. What a bummer, tough break on that one. Wipers and windshield trim are loose inside the car. Flip top gas tap filler neck now installed, shipping available. Okay. Let's look at some pictures of this car. Let's go back here and get a big picture. Okay, another green Mopar, very popular. Green Mopars, that was a real popular color back in the day, all different shades of green. This thing is rusty, but it's got the look. It's a 69 Charger. Looks like the vinyl top is gone, which probably helped quite a bit. Let's keep looking. So a little bit of dent, you know, fender benders. These cars are big and long, so it's kind of common to see them at the very edges of the car where they've been bumped into walls or parking lots and stuff. They just have long overhangs from the wheels. So if you're used to driving a smaller car, it's common that back in the day these things got dinged up in those corners. So you can really see all the rust in through here. Very common on these cars, especially something from the Midwest. This is kind of standard what you get as far as a Mopar out there. Let's keep scrolling through these pictures. Okay, so it's pretty complete in here. AC car, it's got pretty much all the factory AC equipment. got a lot of, it's pretty complete. It's just been, oof, that floor is rough. But you're probably gonna replace the whole floor on this car. It's got the console. So this is a big project, probably bigger than the last one, but the current bidding on this is actually higher. I think it's because of the options on this car, the color combo and the AC and stuff. Probably got the bidding a little higher on this car. Maybe the area it's in too. There's probably more Mopar fans outside of California. We do have Mopar fans here, but real popular car. So a lot of rust on this car. So if you're looking to get into a project, you're gonna be really hitting up the sheet metal catalog for this one. AMD makes some good parts. They make pretty much everything to build this car. So parts availability is there. Okay, so at the current bid, $28,600, we're getting up to the upper price range of where I would say fix on this car. We'll see, there's 2 days left on this auction, so it could go higher than that. 40 bids, so it's really active. People are getting in there bidding on this car. We'll see where it goes. Definitely a fixed car, same thing, caveat of where the pricing goes. Somebody out there may just have to have this color combination and they're gonna bid it up. So keep that in mind, but definitely fixed. Almost any 69 Charger at this point, you don't really pass on them as long as the price is right. People are resurrecting cars that are really rough that you would have never thought that they're going to be restored in the past. With Charger pricing now, everything's game. You can fix anything. Okay, we got a Chevy. This one's on Craigslist in Monroe. What state are we talking here? North Carolina, all right. 57 Chevy, all new drag car, 489 cubic inch roller motor, Pro AL heads, big tube headers, Icon pistons, dimple rods, 488 rear, 4-link setup, new wire harness, built transmission, no passes on it at all. Rally wheels, slicks, new paint. NASCAR 150 look. So this car kind of reminds me, they had a race car back in the day in 1957 that was called the Black Widow, and it was a post car like this that was black and white. So I think this is kind of got that vibe to it. It's got a big hood scoop, rally wheels, looks pretty clean as far as the body. But this is a dedicated drag car, so if you get into this car, probably not going to daily this car, maybe take it to a cruise night, but with a 488 gear, you're not cruising on the freeway in this car. You can see the interior is very race car. This is like only what you need in this interior. Looks like he's got maybe like a line lock here plumbed into the car, some harnesses. Very basic race car setup, good old big block under the hood, nothing you don't need, so it doesn't have the inner fenders. Got a radiator, looks like it's been together for a while. Sometimes you can tell just by the type of parts kind of what era a race car was built. This one looks like it's been together for a while. On a newer car, obviously everything will be shinier because it's all fresh, but you can kind of tell by some of the parts that have been put on. I think these are Moroso valve covers. These are like pretty popular now as far as being a throwback. They're vintage parts, which is fine with a car like this. The way it's set up, it probably has very little miles on this setup. You know, probably everything was done 1/8 mile or 1/4 mile at a time. He's asking $27,500. I think that's fair. If this body is straight and rust free and you're looking for a cool race car, this is it. I mean, it's got the big block in it. You can probably develop this car as you race. Obviously, when you're racing, you're always just trying to go faster. So there's some room for improvement here. Looks like he's open to trades. If you have a 68, 69 Chevelle, Camaro, Firebird, or a 5-window coupe, he's open to good offers. This guy's got good taste. He likes hot rods, Chevelles, Camaros. I like it. I say fix, and honestly, you probably don't really have to fix a lot on this car, especially at this price point. You're getting a turnkey car, but there's some room for improvement, updating, cleaning stuff up, which is kind of nice. Some people want to buy a project that's not as large of a project where you're not taking the car apart, you can just tinker on it, and this is it. I would not attempt to take a post car like this back to original, especially it's gone down the road of being a race car. You could take it back to original, but you know, for the money you're going to put into this, I would probably do that to a Bel Air or a hardtop car. This being a post car, it's a little more pedestrian, I guess you would call it. But as far as race cars goes, a lot of guys liked the post cars. Most of the old gassers you see are a post car. I would say probably not restore this car back to original. I would say put your touch on it and go racing. Okay, here we have next car in Hartford, Connecticut, I believe. Cool. we're going way up into the Northeast now. This is Rust country here. So 70 Pontiac GTO hardtop, 16,500. Let's read a little bit about it. It's a 404 barrel car. Automatic AC, power windows, power locks, power seats. Very highly optioned car. Rear defrost, remote mirror. Car has been off the road for many, many years. Yeah, it looks like it might have been off-roading for a few years as well. Original YS400 engine, requires complete restoration. So yeah, those 3 words will tell you everything you need to know right there. Requires complete restoration, but as far as GTOs go, this thing very highly optioned. He made sure to highlight that in the ad, because if you are trying to restore this car, this is probably a good one as far as the options go. To start with, let's look at some pictures. Yeah, this thing looks like a car from the 70s from the Northeast. So if these cars were not stored indoors and if they were driven during the winter, this is how they end up looking. GMA body, so it's gonna have the same rust areas that any Chevelle has, or any GMA body, which is back here in this area. So you can kind of see a little bit of that in that front lower fender door area. You know, the cowl comes through here and traps stuff in here. So I would venture to say that behind this, if you took the fender off, the actual cab, I guess, of the car would have a hole in that corner. It's kind of something I've commonly seen. Very complete though. Yeah, you can see all this foliage. All this stuff comes in through here. These cars do have like this little grill mesh that stops some of it, but a lot of it passes through there. And these compartments go back down into the car, and that's what rusts everything from the inside out, basically. You get tree stuff that stays moist and damp. If it gets rained on and there's like mulch basically down in there, it's gonna stay damp for a long time and it's all gonna rust. But with that said, this car looks very complete. Under the engine, it has all the original stuff, it looks like. The AC pump, which is kind of nice. If you're looking to restore this car, a lot of it's here. If you're looking to resto mod this car, I would say start with a car that has less options, since you're gonna change a lot of that, and maybe a better body as far as GTOs go. But for a restoration, this might be a good candidate. Very complete. Interior's not too bad. You can see all the power stuff, power windows, power locks. This was a nice car. A GTO with all the power stuff was like, you know, top-notch car back in the day. So for $16,500, that's getting up there in the price range, and you're gonna spend a lot of money restoring it, but this car is gonna be worth a lot of money when it's done. So I would still say fix it. This post is 8 days old. So if you're up in the upper Northeast, you're looking for a bigger project and you're an absolute GTO guy, go get this car, fix it, and get it back on the road, and then show us pictures of it when it's done. I wanna see this thing. Very last car, we're on OfferUp, and we're here local to us. Escondido, California is just a little bit north of us here, about 45 minutes. We got a cool one. This is a 53 Ford F600 hot rod car hauler. Okay, full disclosure, we did kind of look at this car like just to move our vehicles around. We use a truck and trailer right now, but we thought something like this would be really cool. The price is fair, I think. I think this car, this actual hauler, he started a little higher and he's down a little bit on the price, but let's read about it a little bit so you guys get an idea of what this thing is. F600 car hauler, 20-foot bed with hydraulic tilt, winch, and D-rings, new tires, new brakes, Alcoa wheels, Chevy 1-ton chassis from the 80s with a 454 engine and a TH400 transmission. So that was kind of a big selling point when we were looking at this car. We didn't even actually go physically look at it. I think we're gonna stick to just a truck and trailer. But a big selling point for me was that it had a modern 1-ton chassis from an 80s Chevy truck. So this thing is gonna be easy to get parts for, easy to work on, easy to service. 454 engine with a turbo 400 transmission, very reliable. I'm sure this thing is heavy, and that engine has plenty of torque to move this. Solid running and driving with room to customize your way. I've used it to haul motorcycles and side-by-sides of the shop, Home Depot runs, cruise nights. We'll trade for a pre-smog vehicle. So pre-smog vehicle in California, that means anything 75 and older. We have to deal with that here. So a lot of times we're looking at cars that are 75 and older. Let's look at some big pictures of this. So he's got a cool little door logo, Junkyard Saloon. Looks like it's running. You can see some condensation coming out of these big, you know, like Longhorn looking side pipes, the stacks, I guess you would call it, even though it's not a diesel. It's got these stacks. So this is good. He's got a car here for reference. You can kind of see how big the bed of this is, like kind of get an idea of how your car would fit on this if that's what you're looking for. Some more pictures. He's got this in his yard with some equipment, which is probably good. It means he probably knows how to service the hydraulic stuff. These things have quite a bit of overhang back here, which is kind of an issue going in and out of driveways, the egress and ingress. This thing looks like it's probably banged up a little bit here from hitting stuff. Depending on what kind of car you're looking for, you could customize this, shorten this thing down, get rid of some of that overhang. Just depends on what you're looking to use it for. It's got a winch, it's got a toolbox, it's got everything you need to be in business hauling your car around. It's got the ramps, it even has a trailer hitch if you want to tow another car behind it with it. Good old big block Chevy, very basic. Looks like he's done some service work to it, new radiator hose, just kept it running and maintained, which is good. The last thing you want is your hauler breaking down, because you're usually going to pick up a car that doesn't run with it. Junkyard saloon, no rust, no trust. He's got his side-by-side on it, just like he said in the ad. Gives you another kind of idea of the size of this thing. You can see all this overhang. A side-by-side's smaller, but this thing's long. You could probably fit a long vehicle on here. Cool looking truck, currently registered. Interior's there, probably a little bit of room for improvement. So one of the big reasons, there's the hydraulic tilt bed. I kind of like this. This changes your approach angle. You got a real low car. This helps a lot getting it on and off while you're loading. A big reason why we kind of didn't even bother going to look at this is because we're hauling a lot of big muscle cars, and I asked him, you know, would this fit a 69 Charger? That's probably the longest car that we're working with. And he said, bring one up and test fit it. He was open to that, and we just never got to that point. So something to think about is how long this is. If you're looking for a hauler, this thing looks super cool. You can go to the cruise night and, you know, have something unique there, have your car on the back. You can use this in your yard to move cars around. This thing is probably reliable enough to go on long trips with. So for us, it's a single cab truck. Usually we have more people in our crew, so we would need a few more seats. And we're going far sometimes. Sometimes we're going into different states. You know, we're doing 2-3 day trips. This is probably not the best thing for that. It's doable. I'm not gonna say it's not, but we're pretty spoiled. We got comfortable in like a more modern truck. So we passed on this, but I would say fix on this. If you're looking for a car hauler, this thing is awesome. I mean, it's an old Ford. It's got modern Chevy running gear. It has a hydraulic tilt bed. It's got a winch on it. Pretty much everything you need to just go start moving your cars around. So fix on this one. And that wraps up all the cars that we're reviewing today for Fix or Pass. As always, the links for these cars, they're all active listings. The links for these cars will be down in our description. So go check these out. If you're local to any of these cars, check them out. Drop us a comment. Tell us what you thought of these cars. Buy one of these cars so that we don't buy all the Chargers. We're always looking for Chargers. So that one in Sacramento might be a good candidate to look at. And tune in next week while we bring you more cars for Fix or Pass.